Welcome back, bienvenue and all that jazz. It's time to talk about some books. Or in particular, today I'm going to be doing the Unpopular Opinions 2.0 tag. This was an original tag created by Elliot Brooks, and she was kind of riffing off the idea of the original Unpopular Opinions tag and coming up with 8 new prompts for us to share our salty opinions with. And we all know that I am a salty ass hoe. So let's do this and see how many people want to fight me in the comments, because that's always fun. So question number 1 is a genre great that you don't get the hype for. Ooh. Most of the books that I own, I get the hype for. I guess I'll just start and rip off that band-aid. The first one that I really don't get the massive hype for would be Wheel of Time, but I feel like that's less and less like unpopular to say, because it is a journey to get to the end. And I think that if I had found this series when I was younger and had it kind of had time to grow in my feels and to kind of get this nostalgia for it, maybe it would have been a better series for me. That being said, like, I'm not having a bad time. I'm currently about 60-70% of the way through A Memory of Light, which is book 14 out of the 14 book series. And I've also read the prologue, so I'm on the 15th book of this series. And unless something really shifts very dramatically for me in the final like 40-30% of this final book, I don't get it. I can see that there are some epic things, but I think that a lot of the things that Wheel of Time does well, other things do better. So like cool magic systems, I can list a bunch of cool magic systems. Maybe I should make a whole video about that. If you want me to make a whole video about like my favorite magic systems, let me know if you want that kind of recommendation video and I'll do it. But like, that's fine. The like really kind of weird binary of the gender spectrum, the very rigidly locked in and having to do with how the magic works and how the world works, is just not my favorite thing ever. The characters are good but not great. They are kind of growing on me, and having some of them kind of come back together and have these moments that we haven't seen together in like 10 plus books is really fun. But like, I just don't get why it's so lauded as like one of the best series of all time. If you think it's one of the best series of all time and want to let me know why you think that, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I'm going to go with Wheel of Time. Number 2 is an adaptation you wish was never made. So adaptations are an interesting space for me, because I tend to be not all that harsh on media I consume in the first place. Like, if I am having a good time, or if I got transported, or if it just was entertaining, then I'm happy. Like, I'm not one of those people over here like, this is different. This scene on page 22, line 47 was said differently in the book. Or like those people who get really bent out of shape about seasons 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones, or people who are like vitriolically mad about the Wheel of Time season 1. Like, I'm just not one of those people. So I know it's kind of a cop-out, but I also I don't get that mad about adaptations. Like, I kind of see them for what they are, then move on. Like, I'm never that bothered. So I can't think of a single one that I'm like, ugh, I wish I had never wasted my minutes of my, like, I don't care. Like, it's fine. So question 3 is a book or series you have to fight back your inner snob because you kind of think people just don't get it. So I know that she's kind of making fun of the fact that sometimes when you don't like a book, you'll have people as like a creator that'll come up in your contents and like explain to you. I think particularly if you are a female or female presenting person on the bookternet, you'll have those like dude bros kind of come in and be like, well, actually, if and like, I haven't had that experience, but I think it's funny. So if I'm gonna be a snob and say, oh, we just didn't get it, I guess, So, I guess for this one, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to pick a book or series, but I'm going to pick an age range. And so my inner snob is always kind of looking down on people for talking about how, oh, it's just so YA or that kind of stuff. So my inner snob is more towards people who are dismissive of age ranges, where I'm just like, you clearly are, one, kind of reductive and just kind of lumping a whole age range together, of which it is a very broad age range. So like in the United States, the young adult age range is like 13 to 18 years old. And obviously books for 13-year-olds versus books geared towards 18-year-olds are drastically different in tone, content, etc. So it's a weird age range to begin with. But not only does it cover like a broad spectrum of types of stories, but it also has every genre. So YA contemporary, YA fantasy, YA mystery. Like there are so many different facets of YA. And so my inner snob, or not really my inner snob because it's also my outer snob. So if you're one of my booktube friends, Theo, or who else? Who else? Madison, maybe? I don't know. I've definitely been guilty of going up in people's comments and being like, so you said it was very YA. What did you mean by that? So I guess that's where my inner snob really comes out. Because, so here's why. People have a tendency to forget that young adult is really where the diversity in the types of stories, the types of authors we see, the types of representation we see is really more diverse and further ahead of its time than anything in the adult age range currently. And that's just a sad fact of the state of at least traditional publishing. And so if you're somebody like me who is looking for like male-male romance or other diversity representation, be that BIPOC people in stories as main characters or LGBT people, like that all is happening in mainly the YA age range. And so when you're being kind of reductive about the whole age range, you're basically being like, oh, these like diverse stories are not good enough to be on par with my adult stories. And I know that that's not what people mean, but you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out because I might just type up in your comments if you're like, it's YA. Okay, I'll take off my snob hat now. And question 4 is a book or series you're tired of everyone hating on. And so for this one, I'm gonna say the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series. So if you don't know, I am a Laurel K. Hamilton stan. I have been reading her books since I was in junior high. So since I was like 12, maybe 12 or 13, and I'll be 33 this year. So for like the past 20 years of my life, I have been reading Laurel K. Hamilton books. So that's the Mary Gentry series, which is her like fae princess, incredibly dark fae. So if you want dark fae, you're welcome. And then her Anita Blake, the Vampire Hunter series. And then she has a new series, the Danielle Havelock series. And so she writes kind of paranormal urban fantasy, mystery detective type stories. And so people always hate on Anita Blake because in books, I don't know, the ones that sound like porn names, Incubus Dreams, Cerulean Sins, Narcissus and Change, there's like a solid 3 or 4 books that are each like 500 to 700 pages long that devolves into weird erotica. And so people kind of get turned off by that because they were in it for the paranormal urban fantasy mystery parts. And then when it goes there, like that's not really the crowd that she had kind of fostered for her series, but it is for plot reasons. But it's so like people always smack talk saying Anita just like jumped the shark and like it's trash. But it is now up to book 29 is coming out in March. And I can say, I think by, I don't know, by maybe Dance Macabre or The Harlequin. So we really have shifted back to having more of the formula that we loved. And then especially in the most recent books, so like Sucker Punch and Crimson Death, we are really back on like the murder mystery of the week type vibe. So people who say that she jumped the shark have just not continued far enough to know that she unjumps said shark. If that's a thing. But I always hear people just be like, I always hear, and I'm like, on you, just read it. It's good. So question 5 is a book or series everyone thinks is powerful, but you didn't connect with. Everybody powerful. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to say the Era 1 Mistborn. And so before people get out their pitches and torches, their pitchforks and torches, I can speak English idioms. I love Mistborn Era 1. But there is a certain scene at some point in that trilogy that people are always talking about how devastated they were or it wrecked them and just that kind of thing. And it just did not hit me that way. I thought it was an interesting, but I was not like particularly emotionally moved by it. And I don't know why. I like it. I feel like a melancholy vibe, but I don't feel like devastation like the internet says that I should have felt, I guess. So like I said, I love Mistborn Era 1. I love Brandon Sanderson, but everybody thinks that particular scene is like so moving and powerful, meh, meh. And I'm like, yeah, it's good, but like, I don't know, I'm not like devastated by it. So yeah, I wouldn't say that I didn't connect with it at all, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. Then question 6 is a character you don't get the hype for. A character. Ooh, so I tend to not be a super character-driven reader, so I don't necessarily get like the weird obsession with any character. But I guess for this one of the first ones that's coming to mind is Kaz Brecker from the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. So that's books kind of 4 and 5 in the overall Grisha-verse. And people are like obsessed with Kaz Brecker, and I don't know. Like, he's fine, but he's kind of just like a moody twat, and like that's kind of it to his character. So like, I don't necessarily get like the intense obsession that a lot of people seem to have with that character and kind of that duology. Like, it's not my favorite duology ever either. Like, some people just like, I don't know, it must have been a time of their life, or just hit them in a different way, and the representation hit them in a different way. I'm not totally sure, but like Kaz Brecker, there are like ride or dies for that dude, and I don't get it. He's kind of just a dick to me. I swear, we are getting really salty today, and I blame Elle if I get any hate from doing this. So then question 7 is a book or series everyone wants an adaptation for, but you don't. So, I don't know. I'm kind of open to adaptations of everything. I just think they're fun. Like, I spend a lot of time kind of binge watching shows with my husband, and that's kind of just one of the things that we do. So, I don't know. There's really not that many fantasy shows out at one time that I have to like pick and choose. I kind of end up watching them all at some point. So, I don't think that we have so many adaptations going on that I have enough that I need to like pick and choose. Like, oh, they should really do this or not do this. Like, make whatever adaptation you want and I'll probably watch it. So. You're welcome, Hollywood, because obviously me and my husband watching it, you're set for life. And then question 8, a book or series that you think people have a bias toward and don't really love or hate as much as they claim. Ooh. Okay, so we're trying to get in fights today, apparently. A book or series that I feel like people maybe don't love or hate as much as they claim, but they just have a bias toward it. I mean, I don't know. That's a kind of weird one. So I guess I'm kind of interpreting the question as people aren't able to separate their nostalgia from the series. Like, if I don't know. Like, that's an interesting question. And I'm sorry that the heater is kicking in, but it is cold. It is California cold. It is 49 degrees outside, and I don't like being cold. Book or series that I feel like people don't love or hate as much as they say. I guess for this one, I'll say maybe Twilight. I feel like Twilight is very popular to kind of hate on at this point, and I don't know how many people who hate on the series have actually read the whole series. Like, yeah, it's super tropey and stuff like that, so I guess if like you consider that bad or like that makes you really angry, but like, it's not that bad from what I recall. Maybe if I reread it, I don't really want to reread it, but if I cared to reread it, maybe my opinion would change. But I feel like people just jump on the Twilight hate bandwagon because it's popular to jump on the Twilight hate bandwagon. I don't know that that's unpopular, but maybe it is. Because I don't hate Twilight. Like, I remember reading it, and it's fine. It's not like the worst thing I've ever read. I still think like Twilight is better than House of Sky and Breath. Ooh, that's probably a spicy take. But I think that was all of the questions. If you'd like to answer any of these questions and leave your answers down below, I'd love to hear anything of your answers. If you want to have a discourse about any of the answers that I gave, I'd also love to hear from you. If you just want to leave an emoji, why don't you leave the cute little salt shakers, because this was a pretty salty video with some pretty hot takes. So we'll see how this goes when it goes up live, but hopefully you found this entertaining. But that will do it for today's video. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already for more bookish shenanigans like this from moi. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!